Hi everyone, my name is Kiran Rawat. So today I am going to present the third capstone project, which is all about the product dissection, and it is related to our SQL module, in which we have learned about database management system, RDBMS, relational database management system. So for this particular project, I have chosen the OTT Prime Video platform, and why I chose it because I already did the exploratory data analytic part on it in the capstone project second. So if someone is curious about the project, how like I did the EDA for the data and everything, you can just click on this link. I have pasted this link. Plus, I have pasted this tableau section. So if you want to understand the dashboard, you can just click over it, and you can have the dashboard. So you can just analyze it. So before I take you through the project, I am going to give you the brief understanding about the keyword product dissection. When we talk about the product dissection, we need to understand what it is. So let's say if I want to generalize any application or any machine, let's say, or any website, how it is working. So for that, I need to understand about the component first, how components are working. And component means what feature engineering we have done it, what kind of a language we are using it, what kind of data we have with us, from where we are extracting the data, how we are managing the data, what kind of a software we are using for the management system and everything, right? So this is all about the product dissection. We When we want to analyze any particular platform, website, application, so we need to understand, and we are going from top to bottom. So basically, we are working on conceptual layer, as we say in RDBMS. When we talk about the database management system, we have three different layers, right? Let's say a physical layer, conceptual layer, and the external layer. So basic, as per the data analyst or product analyst, we all work on the second layer, that is all about the conceptual part, so we can have the understanding how it all is working, right? So before that, I need to give you the quick overview about the company. As we all know, Amazon was founded by Jeff Bezos in 1994, and the company originally started as an online marketplace for books, but slowly and gradually it expanded its offering to include a wide range of product categories, engaged in e-commerce, digital platforms, online advertising. So it's a kind of a whole ecosystem. And in 2006, Amazon launched service called Unbox, where people could buy and download the movies. Like in era, people usually buy a lot of CDs and DVDs. Then they were having the player at home, and they can just playing at a particular movie or show. They can just watch over the video player or DVD player. But Unbox was giving you the liability. You can just go to the website, you can just download or could buy the movies or show, but it was not very super exciting at that time. So gradually in 2011, they rebranded it as Amazon Instant Video and introduced streaming. Now things got interesting. Suddenly people could just press play instead of waiting for the download section, right? In 2016, Amazon Prime Video, they have launched their application, particular application for the movies, shows, and different kind of entertainment content in over 200 countries, including India. So with that, they went head to head with Netflix, Hotstar, and others, and craved out a serious space in global streaming market, we can say that. So when we understand the Amazon Prime OTT platform, we have different kind of a platform. But what really sets Prime Video apart from that? It's not just movies and series, right? It is a part of whole ecosystem. Like I have written over it. One subscription give you ad free music, right? free delivery on Amazon orders. We can just have 2 days delivery, right? And exclusive shows and movies like The Boys, The Panchayat, or we have tons of Indians shows and movies over there also. So for example, if I want in like previously, when we were not having these all these OTT platform, usually we go to the theaters, or we just like bought CDs or DVDs, or we can just go to the any website, like we are using different links. We have different website. We can just go and download the movies. So we need to wait, but as now just opens Prime Videos, so we can just watch whenever or whatever we want to watch, as per it is our regional content, or we can just watch international content as well, right? So Prime Video is not a video player, it's a smart entertainment platform for us that learns what you love and serves it up instantly. In this project data set, we were having the 1,000 plus titles. I have done the EDA part, so I'm not going to talk about it again. So the goal was, for this particular project, analyze content trend, need to understand what kind of a content is more growing, which reason is more producing content, from which country we are gaining more subscriber, so we can just deal with real world problems and we can just solve it. So I am going to walk you through with the problems what I think OTT platform have understood and they have solved it over the period of a time. So first of all, the first thing that comes, I think, in their mind, expensive movie watching and limited content access. Like going to theater regularly is very costly, right? We usually go to the theaters at our on our holiday, or just if we have some occasion, or for the family gathering, right? So many people had no access also to international or regional content, but now we have the Amazon Prime Videos gives unlimited access to thousands of movies, series, and shows. And it is not all about the one genre. We can have the access of the international content as well if we want to watch it. The second problem is watching anytime, anywhere. It can give you the flexibility and convenience. So, for let's say I am traveling and my travel period is about 6 hours. So, either I can go 6 hours without doing anything, or we can just, if I am very much interested in documentary section, so what can I do? I can go to the OTT platform, I can download the movie. So even if I'm not having any internet access, on the way, we can just download it and we can watch it offline. So you can pause and continue later. It works on mobile and TV, laptop also, so you are not going to have the problem. Problem 3, what to watch, confusion due to many options, right? So now Amazon recommend shows based on what we have watched previously. There's also watch next filter, trailers, and x-rays. So for let's say if I love documentaries, so as per Amazon recommend system, I think in that particular system they are using machine learning model. So they can show the recommendation as per our previous history. So we really don't need to spend much time searching out what we really need to watch, right? Problem 4 is subscription value. So people are usually, we are, let's talk about Netflix. If I am buying the Netflix for 199 rupees, so I can watch movie show, but apart from it, I really can't do much on this particular application. But when we talk about the Amazon, so if I am buying the Amazon Prime Video subscription, so in that particular subscription I am getting Amazon delivery, free Amazon delivery, Prime Music, Prime Reading, not just Prime Video. So I think it's not a very big deal if you are getting free delivery, video streaming, ad free music, and with, in 399 package or 1499 package for the year. So that's how they are making their platform different other than other OTT platform that are available in market. Now, why content analytics? So, as we all know, what content analytics do here? Content analytics gives you the much understanding about your platform, how it is working, how much profit it is making, what kind of a strategy you need to make if you want profit from it, how can you reduce rated content, how can you filter volume and much watched content over the platform, how you can group the content by the regionality or by the language, by the country, and which country is giving you more content, from which country we are gaining more subscriber, and in which country what kind of a recommendation we need to give. So everything we need to understand by the data only. Now we talk about the service model. Service model is nothing but when we talk about the data model, if we have the data, so we need to understand, we have a number of a data, large number of a data, but what data especially we are going to use for any particular problem, we need to understand it first. So for example, we need to understand the content engine, like what shows, what movies, what title, what genre people are liking. If we talk about the analytical layer, we need to understand the dashboard insights on performance, how any show, documentary, movie is doing. User behavior, we need to understand if someone is watching any movie or show, if they are very interested, if they are completing it, if they are binge watching it. So we need to understand the genre also, what kind of a genre they are watching, how the patterns of their watch trends. Region mapper, basically country wise genre insight. Then we have the feedback engine, rating, reviews, and filtering. So for that, if we need to do the product dissection, for the product dissection we need to understand about the data. So now, this section is basically outlines a hypothetical database schema that suppose the analytics that is already done in this project. Database schema designed for content analysis. So first we need to talk about the entity. Entity is nothing but, let's say if I'm talking about the student, so student can have the name, student id, address, first name, last name, phone number, email id, what course they have enrolled in. So student is an entity, it's kind of a blueprint, right? And in that particular entity we can have different attributes. So for this particular product dissection, we have users, and in user entity set we have different attributes like country, language, sign up date. In subscription we have link to user, include plan, states. In titles we have metadata about content, name, years, rating, country. Metadata is basically about the history we are talking about and whatever is available over the platform. Content types, movie, series, etc. In genre we have action, dramas. Watch history, we are going to have the status, if it is completed or not, in process. Title, genre, junction table is basically because we have many to many relationship in between two table, so that is why MySQL automatically generate this table, right? So now we can go through the table section. We have, okay, so I'm going to give you the better understanding about this with the MySQL workbench, as I have prepared it. ER diagram is nothing but when you are making or visualization how your database is going to look. So we talk about the ER diagram. So I have made this ER diagram in MySQL workbench. So I have also pasted this screenshot over there, so you can just go through with it. So first of all we talk about the user table. So in user table we are having different type of key attribute and non-key attribute. So what is the difference in between key attribute and non-key attribute? Key attribute is something that can define uniquely to a table. For example, if I'm talking about the user id, so user id is your key attribute, it's a primary key. And primary key means that it is going to define every single user uniquely and it cannot be repeated. We cannot have duplicates here, right? So we have user id, country, preferred language, and sign up date, right? Let's talk about the subscription one. So now we have this table subscription, and in this subscription we have subscription ID, user ID, start date, end date, and plan type. Plan type means if it is monthly basis of 6 months or 3 months or like for a year. Let's say if I bought a plan which was for a year, so I have paid 1499. But what if I don't want it for the next year? So I'm not going to pay for it, right? But again, I just need it, so I'm going to again buy it. So one user can have the different subscription, but one subscription, if there is a subscription, it is only related to the one user. First, I need you to understand about the relationship. We can have one to many relationship. We can have many to one. We can have many to many, right? So for this particular relationship in between users and subscription, first of all, I want you to understand what is this dotted line. When we talk about the relationship, there are two types of a relationship. First is identifying relationship, and second is non-identifying relationship. So these lines are representing non-identifying relationship. So if we talk about the subscription table over here, so we have sub ID, which is the primary ID for this particular table. We have user id, but user id is not the part of the primary key. It can be the part of your composite key, but it is not the part of the subscription id that is already the primary key. So that's why it is a non-identifying relationship, right? So that is why I have used these dotted lines over here. One user can have different subscription, and different subscription means, oh, let's say if I have bought the subscription for a year, but for another year I don't want it, so I'm not going to continue with the services, right? I am going to quit it. But what if I want to rebuy it? So I'm going to again pay for it, so then I am going to have a new subscription id, right? So subscription id can be can relate. A subscription id is going to unique, but it can be related to the same user. So one user can have the different subscription ids, right? So that is why the relationship in between these table is one to many. So that's why I have used this particular relationship over here. As we can see over here that we have one to one, one to n, one to one, and one to n, and these are the non-identifying relationships over here. If we talk about the watch history, so watch history is nothing but what kind of a content user is watching. So one user can watch a movie, he or she can watch a show, right? If there are different profiles, if there is a profile for kid, so kid is watching another thing. So every user can watch different title id, right? There is a watch history for watch id for users, but for every single movie or every single show, watch id would be the same for any user. So the relationship in between these tables also is going to we can have the relationship one to many, right? What is user id? User id is nothing but the foreign key. Watch id is nothing but the unique id for this table. And dotted relationship, as I already told you, this is non-identifying relationship. Then we have the title id. This title id is basically related to this table. It is all about the information, or we are having the data about the content, whatever is possibly there in on the platform. So title id is basically the name of the movie or show. So title id. Type id is basically what kind of a content it is. It is a show or it is a movie. Then title name, release year, imdb rating, tmdb rating, country origin. If we talk about here, we have title id. Title id is the primary key for this particular table. And title id, as we can see, there is one to many relationship, because one title id basically there. If we talk about the watch history, so one movie can be seen by different users. So watch id basically for that particular movie, for title id, like for that particular movie can we have two or more ids, right? So that is why we have this one to many relationship over here. Then we talk about the content type. The content type is like movie or show. Type id is going to be very unique for it. And then we have the one to many relationship for this. Now if we talk about the genre section and title, so we can see here that one genre can be included by any particular movie or show, right? Because we are going to have the different genre for one show. So genre id can be repeated there in any title, or any title can have different genres. So it is going to have the end to end relationship, or you can say end to end relationship, so many to many relationship. So for that, if we are using this, so my actually I'm working in MySQL workbench. This table is automatically being generated. So it is giving you nothing, but it is title id. This is a foreign key that is related to your title table, and the genre id, this is related to your genre section. And basically it is a joint junction, we can say it. So it was all about our ER diagram. ER diagram gives you the basic understanding how all the tables are related to each other. Where is a joint section, what are the foreign keys, composite keys, primary key, and what column you are using, and you need to define the data types for the columns. Also, as we can see over here, the sub id is integer. Now we can just now we can just go back to our project. So, as I told you about the project, so if we talk about the relationship over here, I have just mentioned over the relationship, what relationship we have used for like users. I have also give the description over here. Like user ID is giving you unique user identifier, subscription ID is giving unique subscription ID. So each user have one or many subscription depending on upgrade or renewal history. So now we if we talk about the ER diagram relationship summary table, so I have just written over it. Like I have told you before, user subscription one to many relationship, one user many subscription. A user can have multiple subscription. If we talk about the titles, watch history, so one to many. Why? Because one title many watch records. Basically one movie or one show can be seen by different user at same time, right? And titles content type, and n to one, or we can see like many titles can have one content type. Then titles id is nothing but one to many. A title can belong to many genre. Then we have title genre, many to many relationship. And this was all about this like quick summary about the ER diagram. Now if we talk about the conclusion, so what conclusion we have from this product dissection. So basically it offered us the deep insight, like how a platform platform uses technologies, personalization and data to transform the entertainment consumption. Through this project, we basically analyze the backend architecture and analytics pipeline that supports such a platform. User subscription and preferences, like what user is watching, what kind of a genre. If they are more interested in movies and shows, we can have better understanding, because now we have the diagram. We can just generate the table and we can extract the data as per the whatever problem we are having, or for particular problem. If we are going to have the if we need to make the business decision, business insights, so we can have the data over it. Content metadata and categorization, how we need to categorize the data as per the movies, shows, genre, language. How we can analyze the viewing behavior and watch history of the user. How we can analyze the genre part and the content performance across different regions. So we can just go through with the SQL, Python, and Tableau, and we can translate raw data into business insight. Now we talk about the final impact. So final impact is nothing but we can make business decision over here. We can have better understanding of the user experience, what language they are preferring, what kind of a shows they are interested in, what kind of a genre they are watching, what kind of a language they are watching, right? In their watching. So efficiency also, identifying content that performs poorly in which reason. If any content is performed remarkably good in any other reason, so we can have all these understanding by this product dissection. Yeah, so this was all about the product dissection for Amazon Prime content analysis. I have pasted a link over here. Also, I have pasted the ER diagram screenshot over here. So that you can have a quick view on it also. So I hope I make you understand what kind of a problem it is solving, how they are dealing with the data, and how can we make the ER diagram. So thank you so much for your time.